we're going to go over, like I talked about the other night, we're going to discuss the 2027 LSU baseball roster. That was going to be my main topic of discussion tonight, but so much has happened since we last talked on Saturday. We got to talk about Wade Roos, Governor Landry, and the group of, I think, 15 or 16 donors who showed up to a meeting on Monday and discussed the avenue in which I think LSU and Wade Roos are going to go with this new revenue generating idea they have. I have an idea of it. I don't have any sourcing. Nobody's told me anything. It's purely speculation on my part. But I think I'm either really close or I'm so far off it's not even funny. We're going to talk about a little bit of football fall camp. I'm not going to be there, as you know. I'm going to talk about what I have in mind and what I'm looking forward to hearing out of fall camp. We have a coaches poll. The first irrelevant poll of the college football season came out today, and LSU is ranked 13th. We're going to go over that as well and talk about how I think these polls make no sense. They're worthless, and no one should pay attention to polls till the college football playoff poll comes out. But besides all that, the first thing I'm going to get into is this new revenue-generating idea that Governor Landry, President Wade Roos, and I'm guessing the Board of Supervisors, I believe were there as well, came and gave to the donors that were in attendance on Monday night. They have another meeting tomorrow evening. I don't think it's going to be the exact same meeting as they had Monday. I think it's going to be close to the same, but I don't think it's going to be exactly the same. And I'm going to give you my idea of what I think they're doing. Charles Harvey this morning on Tingle & Co. this morning. I'm sure a lot of you saw that. A lot of you, if you're subscribed to me, you're probably subscribed to Tingle & Co. Charles Harvey came on, who was in attendance Monday for this meeting, and gave kind of a brief rundown of what was discussed during this meeting between the governor, the president, and the donors. And he put the private equity rumors to bed, I believe. I believe he was pretty emphatic when he was saying, this is not a private equity play. This is not a private equity play. LSU is going to maintain and retain all ownership and all controlling rights of this deal. This doesn't seem to be a deal that's not going to happen. The way he spoke about it, in my opinion, was they were letting them know what they're doing. They wanted their opinions, but they were kind of just letting them know what they're doing. It sounds like Wade Roos, Governor Landry, Verge Osbury, I would assume Heath Schroyer are all involved in getting this going as fast as possible and want to announce it as fast as possible. But after Charles Harvey this morning had this discussion, articles blew up, opinions came out. Everyone had their 2 cents on it. Now, I did read the LouisianaSports.net article from Matt Moscona, and there were a couple things in this article that I thought kind of were telling. One of them was further down the article towards the end, Moscona writes, Roos is waiting on a third-party valuation to determine what the entity is worth, as well as an opinion from the IRS. Why does that matter? I'm going to come out and say it. If you know about the NFL, if you know about the Green Bay Packers, I'm a Who Dat. I'm a Saints fan. I'm not a Green Bay Packers fan. Don't get me wrong. But you know that you can go on the stock exchange and buy a share and become a part owner, in quotes, owner of the Green Bay Packers. Now, does that give you any kind of voting rights? No. And I do not think LSU is going to be making a Go Tigers stock for you to buy. When they talk about forming an LLC, worried about evaluations, worrying about IRS approval or opinions from the IRS, I think they're going to open a route to allow people to invest in either the athletic department itself or the university as a whole. I'm guessing it's the university as a whole, so you could possibly see returns. They're going to find a way, an investment mechanism in this type of manner like the Green Bay Packers have. So instead of you just giving money to TAF or to the coaches committee or being an NIL donor, you're investing in the product. You're truly investing in the product, not just investing with your money and saying, hey, do what you need to do, go get the best guys. You are becoming an investor in this entity that they're going to form. Now, I'm sure Wade Roos, Governor Landry, and everyone involved have done the right things legally and talked to the state legislature about making this move, because this is a big, big move. If this is the route they go, it's a huge move to be able to have this sole entity owned and controlled by the state, the LSU brass, maybe even the governor to a point, because he is technically over the university as a whole, being the governor, allow an investment mechanism into the school. I think it's a great play. I think that would be a great play. I'm not saying that's the route they're going. Let me just put that out there. I am not a stockbroker. I'm not a monetary analyst. I'm not a financial analyst or financial whatever. I know what my checking account says, my savings account says. See, there's a problem with my checking and my savings. That's what I know. I'm not that big into investing, but the more and more I sat and I read this article and I thought about the different means and different ways that they could, without going the private equity route, which I'm really, really happy they're not bringing in a company to just basically become an owner of the athletics department or just the football department or whatever. Private equity is a very slippery slope, and it gets very challenging. When you have private equity, they want returns. It's the same instance when it comes to investing. People are going to want returns, but similar to like the Green Bay Packers stock where you buy and become a partial owner, people put that money in that investment to not take it out. It's basically like a souvenir or a way to show how much of a fan you truly are, right? It's not an investment strategy or an investment medium like if, say you bought the new SpaceX stock that came out recently. If you bought stock in Tesla, if you bought stock in Apple or Alphabet or, Meta, whatever the case may be, it's not that same route. And you could have guys like Charles Harvey, for example, who is a prominent donor, especially when it comes to LSU basketball. Now, he did talk about a sizable amount of money. That's where I think I'm off, I'll be honest, because he talks about the $100 million range. I know LSU has come out and has been evaluated over the $1 billion mark, so they're going to allow 10%. They may be allowing you to invest into 10% of the valuation of the university. Maybe that can make sense. I'm kind of working this out now as we kind of talk about it. That just popped in my head, but he's talking about in the hundred millions of dollars ranges. And he talked about seeing a return in 5 or 6 years, right? And then he talked about how after 2019, you really couldn't see, they lost $200 million. LSU on the books lost $200 million in reference to winning the national championship. The monetary gain they thought they would see from that national championship didn't come because of the fact that you didn't really have a football season after 2019 due to COVID. So again, I've sent out messages. I'm waiting on responses from people. I don't know if I have any remnants of being correct on this topic, it's purely luck again. It's purely luck. But I think that may be the way they go. Allowing individuals, they're probably going to have to limit to individuals instead of companies, a certain amount, a percentage amount of the valuation of the university as a whole that you can buy into with investment as an investment, not just as, hey, we're going to sell the seats out of the old out box. And now, yeah, you bought it. Thank you. You now have this. You now have a piece of the university as itself as an investment. I think that's probably the way they go. Fun fact tonight, if you disagree with me on any opinion I have, I told y'all I would work on this. I told y'all I'd work on it. I have found a better way to do this. I said I changed a couple things. I didn't want to do it at the last minute tonight before the show. Hopefully, we can do this before Thursday's show. But tonight, if you disagree with me, let me know. Oh, That sucks. Tonight, right here at the bottom of the screen is a phone number. That phone number comes to this phone right here. You can call into the show. You can tell me how you feel. No, that is not my real personal phone number. I'm not that crazy. But later on tonight, we'll do some live call-ins if anybody wants to, and you will have the freedom to call into the show. Let's go to the comments real quick. My buddy, Robbie Plaisance. What's up, fellas? Y'all go give Robbie a follow, man. He's doing such a good job. Such a good job following summer baseball. And keep him in your prayers as well. We're not going to talk about why, but keep him in your prayers. It's always good to pray for somebody. Kaylee Joe. Hey, from Kinsey and Kaylee, your favorite nieces. Yes, my favorite nieces. Also my only nieces. But yes, my favorite nieces. I love y'all to death. Jonathan Jag, no audio. Do I still not have audio? Hey, let me know in the comments if I have audio, because he's telling me I don't have audio. Everything on my end shows I have audio. So let me know, please. Let me know. Bino was on fire today for Chatham on a big upset win over the Red Sox, and K. Curlin Harwick got the best of Eddie today. Eddie messaged me the other day, and he said, I've never lined out so much in my life. That torpedo bat he has is driving him insane, and I don't blame him. Those torpedo bats, man, for the birds. My buddy Brian Turner. What's up, man? What's up? Brian's going to have some big things coming here soon. Big things coming here soon. Robbie and KK tell me they hear me perfectly. That's good to know. Thank y'all. Thank y'all very much for letting me know. And how did I forget my buddy Babin on the Bayou? What's up, Babin? If y'all didn't check out his show today, go check out Babin. He did a really good job today. And he's killing it lately. He's killing it, man. George Cleary. Hey, George Cleary. I apologize, George. Shout out from Orlando, Florida. How you doing? Where are y'all watching from? Let me know where y'all watching from. We're out in Florida right now. I know we're in Texas. We're back in Baton Rouge. We're all the way on the North Shore. All good, man. All good. Restaurants near me. Restaurants near me. You confuse me right now, Brian. You know I'm a simple man. You know I'm stupid. You know I can't understand half that stuff, man. You know I can't understand it. Thank you, my guy. You ain't got to thank me, buddy. You're doing a great job. You're killing it. I'm proud of you. Proud of you. And big shout out to Babbitt. I don't know if I said this on the show. I've known him for a little while now, but he's starting his journey of his career soon, and I'm happy for him. I know he was really looking forward to it. So congratulations, Babbitt. You deserve all the good things, my God. All the good things. All right, when we come back, we're going to get into a little bit of LSU football, a little college football talk. Then we'll get into looking at the roster. That's probably going to take the longest time. And if y'all want, we'll take some calls from you. Let me see. Angleton, Texas, home of Braxton Beatty. I know who you are. Braxton Beatty's a dog. And that is my dog, Brian Turner. Sorry about that. I'm on vacation. I typed that. Well, just rub it in a little more, Brian. Rub in that you're on vacation, my guy. Rub it in. All right, man. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about everything going on with LSU football and college football as a whole, and then a little bit of baseball. Stay with us.
John 16:33, Jesus says, I've told you all this so that you may have peace in me. Here on earth you will have many trials and sorrows, but take heart because I've overcome the world. Like that truth that Jesus won is so powerful, so significant in our lives if we fully trust and fully surrender to that promise. Like no matter what we're going to face, no matter what stress, no matter what challenges, no matter what anxiety, like Jesus promises peace, and he reminds us that all of the sin, the fear, the doubt, the shame, like he overcame it all. He paid the price for your sin and mine when he went to that cross. He died a death that we deserve. He went into the grave. He didn't stay there. 3 days later, he rose from the grave, and the promise is true that he's coming back someday. So the power and the significance of that verse is now in a 2-word phrase that's on a t-shirt, on a hat, on a hoodie, and simply said, Jesus won.
Even in the valley of the shadow of death, I can take rest, cause the living God is living in my chest. Every day I wake up feeling blessed, and even if I don't, I see it as a test. Cause
Join me and your favorite players by expressing your faith and assisting local ministries. Use code WalkItOffTalk for 20% off your orders at JesusOneApparel.com. 15% of your purchase will support local ministries like the LSU FCA. That is code WalkItOffTalk for 20% off. Jesus One.
In South Louisiana, there's nothing we love more than God, family, sports, and food. For your next get-together, make sure you contact Lemise Sourdough Bakery. Whether you're gathering with friends and family for the big game or surrounding yourself with loved ones for a Sunday dinner, let Lemise Sourdough Bakery provide what you need to make it that much more special. Lemise Sourdough Bakery is a small batch, all organic bakery right here in the heart of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Go take a look at what's being mixed up in the kitchen next, as well as place your orders on Instagram at Lemise Sourdough Bakery. Don't forget to pick up your regular sourdough loaves, your jalapeno cheddar loaves, cookies for those late night snacks, and cinnamon rolls for those early morning cravings. Lemise Sourdough Bakery, where the first ingredients in anything made is love. Lemise Sourdough Bakery.
What's up? We're back, man. We're back. That song just goes, man. It just goes so hard. All right. Again, do me a favor if you haven't already, please. If you're watching a YouTube stream, please like the video. Subscribe if you haven't. Please subscribe. If you're watching on X, please repost the stream, like it, follow the pages. Pick to Click is coming, man. We're 32 days away from Pick to Click. Goodness. Woo. We're 32 days away from Pick to Click. It's gonna be fun this year. A lot of fun. This is one of your Pick to Click giveaways, by the way. Like this one right here. I had to bring something from my background, so I grabbed one of the Pick to Clicks because we are a mobile studio now. This is my, oh goodness, 4th studio in like 3 weeks. We're doing it, man. We're doing it. All right, so let's get into a little college football talk. Fall camp starts tomorrow. The players and coaches reported today. Well, players reported today to LSU to start fall camp tomorrow. It's a lot of anticipation, a lot of excitement coming into this season. Lane Kiffin's first season. It can't go any worse than it did last year, or Lane Kiffin can't be any worse than Brian Kelly was in his tenure here, or thankfully it wasn't 10 years. But everyone's really excited about this LSU football season, as you should be. It's going to be a blast. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's not the national championship in 32 days. We're facing Clemson. We're going to be at home. It's going to be nice to have a home opener again and not be on the road in neutral site games. Even in New Orleans, it's not the same. Not Alec Box. Woo-wee. Guys, I've been up for a long time. Tiger Stadium is going to be a blast. That opening game against Clemson. It's going to be amazing. But the real work starts tomorrow. We're going to find out there's going to be a lot of information coming out about this team over the next few weeks coming into the first game against Clemson. How does Sam Leavitt look? I believe he's 100% healthy. That's just my opinion. How does the wide receiver group look? Because you have basically all new pieces. How does the running back room look with Dylan Jones coming in? Is he really the guy everyone believes he is coming into the season? Has Harlan Berry progressed? Has Caden Durham progressed? Do you have guys like Stacey Gage or anyone else who comes into that room and takes over? How does the offensive line look? We're all really big on Jordan Seaton. Ball. You got Weston Davis. You got so many guys on that line. Can they work together and hold up? The defense. I am not worried about the defense whatsoever. Blake Baker's defensive coordinator. Corey Raymond's there. I am good on the defense. That's probably the one thing I could say about looking at LSU going into this season is I'm not worried about the defense whatsoever. I trust Blake Baker. Now, I am over the moon that we got Lane Kiffin. Over the moon. During the whole coaching search and all that other jazz, a part of me was like, hire Blake Baker as head coach. That's how much I believe in Blake Baker. They had an article come out today or earlier. I think it may have been today. It may have been yesterday. I believe it was today, though. My memory's escaping me. And Blake Baker's on a lot of lists as one of the top coaches in the coaching carousel coming up this year. Yeah. He's going to be. He's going to be a guy that a lot of teams, a lot of schools go after. I honestly don't think Blake leaves after this year. Unless they win a national championship, which we're not going there. Like I said earlier, looking at rankings, these rankings that come out in preseason all the way up until week 8 is when the first college football playoff rankings come out. All those rankings don't mean anything. They're a waste of time. They're talking points. And we're going to talk about them on this show every week. But they don't mean anything. They don't mean anything. If they meant something, LSU would have been playing in the playoffs last year. That this time last year, I believe you were a top 5 team, at the worst, a top 10 team on the polls. You finished 7-6. You finished 7-6. Let's look at that poll real quick. I'll go ahead and pull it up. Let me move over here. So right here. The USA Today coaches poll. Let's look at the top 25. Ohio State, ranked number 1. Oregon, 2. I was surprised by Oregon being at 2. Not going to lie. I thought Georgia would be higher, but Georgia's at 3. Texas at 4. Notre Dame at 5. The national champion, University of Indiana Hoosiers, ranked 6. Miami at 7. A&M at 8. Oklahoma at 9. A lot of guys are really high on Oklahoma. John Mateer's back. I think this is the year Venables figures it out. He had to show me. He had to prove it to me. Ole Miss at number 10. Not surprised. They made a playoff. They beat Georgia. You're going to be ranked higher. A lot of people are looking at this and saying they lost their whole offensive coaching staff. I get it. Look, again, these rankings mean nothing. The only caveat I'll give Ole Miss and Ole Miss fans when it comes to their ranking being a 10 is that you did bring in a Lane Kiffin disciple for the offense. You brought in John David Baker, who is the disciple of Lane Kiffin. He learned his coaching technique and coaching strategy and philosophy from Lane Kiffin. So you're going to be closer to that style than you would have been with someone else, which is better for Trinidad and Kawan and everyone involved. It isn't Charlie Weiss, because I'm starting to not even call it Lane Kiffin's offense anymore. I'm calling it Charlie Weiss's offense. Because Lane Kiffin has even come out and said, I get a lot of credit. It's him. It's Charlie Weiss. I get a lot of the credit. Charlie Weiss is making the calls. Yes, I have my opinion weighs. My opinion has weight, and it matters, but Charlie's making the calls. He's making the game plan. That's why when they went into the playoff and Lane wasn't there, they didn't skip a beat. They didn't skip a beat because Charlie Weiss is that guy. What the heck? Not too far over. All right. I started moving when I get on here. I started moving and grooving, and I get out of frame. So, Ole Miss being at 10, not surprised. They made it to the playoff. Do they stay in the top 10? You know what? I'll say this. I hope they do. I hope Ole Miss has a great season and miss the playoffs. Alabama's at 11. Not surprised. I thought they may be a little bit lower to their showings in the playoff, but they made the playoff. A lot of people are kind of poo-pooing on Kalen DeBoer. And I know you have a first-year quarterback who's never started in the SEC. I get it, but it's still Bama. No matter what anybody else says, it's not burning over there. They still made the playoff last year. And Kalen DeBoer is a good coach. I'll have to see Alabama fall, like truly, truly fall before I stop looking at them as like a potential guy. Texas Tech at 12. This surprised me. Brandon Sorsby, Not there. They did bring in a lot of good pieces. They did. But this surprised me. This, again, just proves these polls do not matter whatsoever. Your LSU Fighting Tigers are at 13. I think this is a good spot. If you look at this from a playoff perspective, you're right outside the playoff. Play your way in. A 7-6 team shouldn't be at 13. They shouldn't be. Maybe you replace Missouri. Maybe you replace Houston. Maybe. This shows how much respect they have for Lane Kiffin and the talent he has brought into this program since he's been in Baton Rouge. That number 13 tells you everything you need to know, because you shouldn't be there. Look at the SEC teams remaining in the top 25. Tennessee at number 18. Kind of surprising, but again, these things don't matter. And that will round out the top 25 for the SEC. If you look at the SEC, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the top 13 spots go to the SEC. But we're not the best conference in the country anymore. What am I more excited for in fall camp? Yeah, we'll talk about the thing I'm less excited to hear about, but I still really want to hear about the defense. I want to hear about Todd Benefield. Todd Benefield, from my research and watching film and looking into things, tells me he's a hard-hitting safety who can cover. I want to see if he's a ball hawk. I see a lot of potential in that kid, man. A lot of potential. I want to see if he's a ball hawk. I want to see if he can go up there and get it. You know, it may just be the honey badger going to see him, meeting him, and then him dyeing his hair blonde. But, man, if we get – no one's the honey badger but the honey badger. I'm not trying to say he'll be the honey badger. I'm not saying that. If we can get 5% of the honey badger out of Todd Benefield, goodness – whoa, good night to be dangerous. I think Todd Benefield could do it. I want to hear about P.J. Woodland. And the way he is kind of shot up in the talking space, because you hear about DJ Pickett and hear about all these guys, and P.J. Woodland has never been a guy who was forgotten about, but he's never been at the front and center of discussions, if you get what I'm saying. Right. Usually when you talk about DBs at LSU right now, last year was Monster Delane, of course, because he was he was so good. So good. But you hear about Pickett, rightfully so. I'm not trying to poo-poo on DJ Pickett whatsoever. The kid's a dog. But before, SEC media days, you didn't hear a ton about P.J. Woodland. You're starting to hear a lot about him. You're starting to hear about he kind of grew into his body a little more. You're starting to hear how he's excelling at practice and in drills. I want to hear about P.J. Woodland, how well he's doing in this fall camp. I want to hear about the linebacker core. I want to hear about Keys, Daughtery, and Weeks. I want to hear how they're dominating, how they're filling holes, how they're getting off in shallow coverage, how they're covering backs out of the backfield, how they're hitting tight ends in front of the line of scrimmage. I want to hear about all of that, because I feel like this linebacking crew we're finally getting back to the LSU defense of old. If you're my age, maybe a little bit younger, you're a little bit older, you remember LSU for defense. That 2011 team, as great as it was, defense carried it. We're getting back to LSU defense being the heart and soul of this program, and I will take like a 13-10. Like the Alabama LSU game at 11 was like one of my favorite games because it was low scoring. It was just hard hitting football, and I love that type of football. We're not going to get that though, because Lane Kiffin's going to be explosive offense. Now, what I'm really looking forward to, like I said, the offense. One of my main questions is, where is Treyas Green line up every play? Is Treyas Green and hand in the dirt at the end of the line, or is he in the slot? Is he spread out? As Trades Green, like looking at him in media days and seeing, video and stuff coming out from around the program coming up until fall camp, and I'm not trying to be, I know I can be a little, how do you put it, hyperbolic from time to time. I can talk a little big about things. He's looking more and more like Megatron, man. He's tall, he's strong, he's not, for instance, you look at a guy like, he's popping in my head because I saw something with him recently. Jeremy Shockey, right? Jeremy Shockey, he's bigger than Trades, don't get me wrong. But I look at a tight end, and I see Jeremy Shockey, a big, broad, strong, tall dude who has good hands, who can run a little bit. Trades Green fits into that mold of a Megatron so much more for me. Now, is he as fast as maybe, a Brown or, a Phillip Wright? No, I don't think so, but he's not slow. I want to see how they move with Trades Green, what kind of packages they have for him, because he's going to be a focal point of this offense. You do not have a guy like Trades Green and not make him a focal point of this offense. I want to hear about Harlan Berry. I want to hear about Caden Durham. Caden Durham will be, if he doesn't progress, if he doesn't have that leap in ability coming into the season, he'll be one of the biggest letdowns of LSU football in a while. Coming out of high school, I think he was a top running back recruit in the nation, if not only to stay at Texas, out of Duncanville, coming out of high school. I think he was number one running back in the nation, if I'm not mistaken. Had a great freshman campaign, came up big for the Tigers his freshman year, and he's fought injuries. He's not only fought injuries, he's fought bad running back coaching. I know everybody loved him. Caden Durham couldn't pass a vision test with the holes, man. He couldn't. He was legally blind from that kind of coaching. How does he progress? How has Kevin Smith wrapped his arms around that young man and made him a better running back? I want to know that. Harlan Berry, he put on a little weight. Does he still maintain the speed? How has he progressed? Harlan Berry may be that Reggie Bush type coming out of the backfield, receiving back. A guy pop out a little running back screen, pop out a little, a drag route or around the world route. I call them around the world. I know they're not around the world. They're can't remember right now. Anyways, how does Harlan Berry progress? What is his role in the offense going to be? Dylan Jones, is he that guy we've all heard about? Is he that guy? We could talk about it all we want. We got to see it. The wide receiver room, I'm really keyed on them because coming into last year, we were so excited with Nick Anderson, Barryon Brown, Aaron Anderson, which I'm not putting shade on Aaron Anderson whatsoever. That dude had more heart than about anybody on that team last year. We were so excited about the room and just got squandered. I don't think this room's going to get squandered, but I'm really excited to see how a group of so many young men come together, creating this room, all coming in from different places, really, how they commingle, how they progress, and how they get ready for this season. Sam Levitt, QB1. Before we get to Sam Levitt, offensive line, Jordan Seaton. We've talked about how he's lost weight. How is he moving? Man, woo, it could be exciting. Look, Jordan Seaton, watching the film from Colorado doesn't do it justice. He is the type of athletic offensive lineman that allows your offense to do so much more because he can get out into space and make a block. He can get around the line and he can do things that, frankly, not to put down on him, Will Campbell couldn't do. Will Campbell was a great tackle. Don't get me wrong. He was in the Super Bowl last year. Don't get me wrong. Jordan Seaton has a level to his game that I don't think Will Campbell had or we've seen a guy have in a very, very long time. How does the rest of the offensive line shake out? How does the rest of the offensive line kind of line up and become one unit? Can Weston Davis progress to be that guy that they kept him for a reason? They kept Weston Davis for a reason. Can he become that guy that they foresaw? Or does he get moved on? Bo Bordelon. He was still a tight end until what? Spring? Then he moved to the guard position. How's Bo Bordelon filling that role? Does he start in that role? I've heard a bunch of people say this. I'm going to reiterate this. Lane Kiffin is going to play the best players. We've all heard the malarkey coming out of Oxford. How Lane won't play a guy. He didn't play this guy. He's the best player on the team. He was this, he was that. Spare me. Spare me. I don't believe it. Lane Kiffin's going to play the best guy, no matter what. And that's what makes me so excited. You're not going to have guys sitting on the bench that shouldn't be there. Let's get to the coup de grace. Sam Levitt. I saw this in the chat earlier. Oh, I'm not going to bring that up. But we'll get to that in a minute. Sam Levitt brings a wrinkle to his offense that I haven't really thought about. I know coming in when we got him, we saw the tape from Arizona State. And yeah, the Mississippi State game wasn't great. You didn't watch any other games then. So it tells me that you just watched one game and that was it. Sam Levitt, if healthy, if 100%. No, I'm not going to compare him to that. That wouldn't be right. That'd be messed up. Brings a wrinkle to this offense that's been sorely missed since the departure of Jaden Daniels winning the Heisman. I've said it to Carter on this show when we did the interview. I think Sam Levitt ends up in New York as a Heisman finalist. Why? He's a better Jackson Dart. He's a better Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart, you could say what you want about him, ran all over the LSU offense. We got the best of him. Don't get me wrong. But we had Jackson Dart look like a first-round pick when he played us because Lane schemed it up. Lane schemed it up. And having a guy like Sam Levitt and a guy like Hassan Longstreet, a guy like Landon. Why am I forgetting his last name now? Landon Clark. Coming out, mobile running backs. Now, Landon Clark's going to be your Taysom Hill type quarterback. I said running back. Quarterback. One that tells me Blake Baker and that defense is going to get a lot more looks at a mobile quarterback, telling me that we'll be able to stop a mobile quarterback next year. I don't put too much credence on them not stopping a mobile quarterback last year. When you're on the field for 75% of the game because your offense can't get a first down, you can't score points, you're going to get tired, and then quarterback's going to run on you. I like to see Marcel Reed try that this year. Try it this year. Oh, anyways. Sam Levitt brings a wrinkle to this offense that's going to be able to buy time when something doesn't work out. If a defense schemes up against you, he's going to have that trait, that ability to get out of the pocket, make something happen. We didn't have that last year. If he crossed the line of scrimmage, we were cheering in the stadium. It's sad. This year, he's not Jaden Daniels. And I'm not saying he's going to be. We're going to be closer to Jaden Daniels this year than we were last year. I'll just put it that way. I'm excited to see if he's 100% healthy, which I'm sure he is. I have no doubt in that. A really fun offense to watch, man. Is it going to be perfect? No. I know how great of an offensive play caller Lane Kiffin is. It's not going to be perfect. It never is. He makes mistakes too. But that's what I'm looking forward to. I don't know about you guys, but I'm real excited to hear good news coming out of camp. Don't crown them. Don't look at the rose-colored glasses yet. Look, like I've told y'all before, this football season, I'm a fan. I know football, but not as much as I know baseball. So I'm not going to act like I can tell you every single thing they're doing. I'm going to bring people on who can do that. So it can inform me and inform you. But let's just enjoy the sport of football again, please. That's what I'm looking forward to. Let's see what the chat has to say. Brian said he'll call in. All right. Hold you to it. I want to see the big cat drill come back. A part of me does, but a part of me doesn't. It's just so much chance for injury, man. So much chance for injury. Like, you need those moments in a practice or in a season to kind of like get it back going. But I don't want to see that every game. I don't want another Les Miles special. Oh, you want to put Seedon against Richard Anderson and Deuce Gerald, 2 freshmen, and a junior left tackle who's a monster. Let's keep our guys healthy. Let's keep them healthy. LSU was 13th to start the 2003 season, won the national championship, and put one of the greatest defenses of all time on the field. Brian knows what I'm talking about. Brian gets it. Brian knows ball. I was watching. They have a YouTube video on YouTube, of course. It talked about the chaos of the 03 season. And they kind of ran you through. It was like maybe 20, 30 minutes long. It runs you through the season from start to finish. Now the BCS, it had it split at the end between, that team in California and LSU who won the national championship thing. LSU was on the field when they played, and they won it. They beat the Heisman winner and Jason White. And the score of the national championship doesn't tell you how LSU just dominated Jason White and that Oklahoma offense. Oh, such good memories. Clemson doesn't even have a quarterback starter yet. They ain't ready for them Tigers. All I got to say is this. We talked all that mess about Clemson not having the real Death Valley. Now we got to defend Death Valley. If you're going to the game, turn that place into the old Tiger Stadium. Turn that place into the old Tiger Stadium, right? Make that place loud. I want to set off the earthquake scales or the Richter scales in the other side of the campus. Set that stuff off, man. When Set It Off comes on, set it off. Jim Thorpe Award winner, Ty Benefield. We never get really picked for those awards, though. Like, I think Delpit won it, or no, Delpit didn't win it. I know Malik Neighbors got screwed. Just think of that 2011 team with Joe Burrow and Jaden Daniels as QB1. Ooh. Just think about that 2011 team with, I don't know, Medenberger, Miles Brennan, Jarrett Lee. All right. Again, do me a favor if you haven't already, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the follow button. If you're watching our next, please repost it. It's a big service, guys. It helps out tremendously. You don't understand how much it helps out. It truly does. Yeah. All right, let's get into the LSU baseball roster. As we talked about Saturday, Logan Schmidt has chose to come to LSU. He turned down his offer from the Cleveland Guardians, and he decided not to take the JUCO route and come to LSU for 3 years. We're not talking about the transfer portal or anything like that. Don't get me started. Let's just get to fall ball first before we start talking about losing guys. It's a 40-man roster. Jay worked hard to get it down to 39 for a reason. Was it yesterday, I believe? I believe it was yesterday. He had a member on X post make a post talking about a certain player putting a community college name in their Instagram bio or something like that. Look, most of us know who's not going to be on the team. Most of us know. I'm not going to put that information out. I'm going to let the kid do that. I'm not here to do that. It sucks, especially the kid who's not going to be here. It sucks because he's a good player. He's good. I could see why maybe Jay chose him due to other factors coming into his time here at LSU, but at the same time, it sucks. And I always say this: put yourself in a situation if that was your son, right? He committed to the powerhouse, Baton Rouge, LSU, Jay Johnson, national championship winning coach, national championship pedigree program, and he's told there's not a spot for you. It can't be a fun conversation for Jay or that kid and his family. Respect him, and I'm going to treat him as a Tiger from here on out. I'm going to treat him as a Tiger from here on out. He may not like it much here, but I'm going to treat him as a Tiger from here on out. Mr. Kelly, operator. Oof, I'm really late. Boy, you late. It's all right, though. You never late. You right on time. You right on time, buddy. You right on time. So, with that being said, we're going to lose a guy. He's coming from a part of the team, though, that I did not expect to lose. I thought it was going to be another section of the team. Because I saw a guy like him, and I thought, man, you can't get rid of that kid. You can't. But it appears we will. Let's bring up the roster real quick. Oh, wrong one. Sorry. All right. Again, this is the 40-man roster. I didn't cut it down for a reason. Outfielders, Bino Waters, Jason Wax, Angel or Angel Laya. That's going to be your starting outfielders. That's my projection. Jason Wax in center, Laya in, I would guess, right, Bino Waters in left. Don't sleep on Patrick, Davis, or Malachi Washington. Especially Malachi Washington. Especially. I listen to Jason Armstrong as well. Look, I listen to Jason Armstrong as well. Jason knows a lot, and he's very good. He's a baseball guy. He believes Nathaniel Davis was the best all-around ready-to-play outfielder coming into LSU more so than Malachi Washington. William Patrick, by the way, I don't want y'all to forget, Jay wanted to put the kid in the infield to get his athleticism in the lineup last year. Don't sleep on William Patrick. But Malachi Washington is kind of different. He's kind of different. The kid's that good. The kid is that good, man. I'm not saying he's going to replace a guy like Laya or Waters or Wax. I'm not saying that. I could see a problem in center field. I'm just going to go there. This isn't sourced. This is my pure speculation. I could see Malachi Washington having a run at center field, man. The kid is that good. William Patrick's the same way. If William Patrick can come in and start getting some ABs in SEC play or maybe even non-con, and he's showing he has a little bit more power, a little bit better plate discipline, the kid has every tool in the book you could want. Like, I'll tell you this. I haven't spoken to Jay Johnson. Jay Johnson will not speak to me. I promise. I've tried. But if I know anything about Jay Johnson, there's no position on this field that is locked in. Not one. Well, there's one. That's shortstop, because you have the best shortstop in the country in Stephen Milam. Jay Johnson is going to have that whole field open for competition coming into fall ball, going into spring. And fall ball is going to be insane this year. I'm going to do my best. My employment has changed. My situation has changed. But I'm doing my best to make every fall ball scrimmage. I'm going to try my absolute best. But fall ball is going to be insane, guys. I think the box is going to be a little more packed this year with fall ball. I think it's going to be a little more packed. I think a lot more people are going to be interested in going to fall ball, which is strange because they didn't want to go after a national championship year. Wait. Coyote operator. I think the best strength of this team is depth. You have so much talent that if someone is off, you can plug in another guy and have elite talent. Couldn't say it better. Couldn't have said it better. Infielders. Dawson Park, who I think is going to be your third baseman. Stephen Milam, who we all know is going to be your shortstop. Kate Curlin, second baseman. Jack Ruckert, John Pearson, Parker Lowe, Jordan Martinez, and Luke Tucker. Now, I wouldn't have separated the infielders from first base really right now, but it is what it is. I think you have Dawson Park third, Stephen Milam short, Cade Curlin second. Could Cade Curlin move to third? It is possible. I don't think he does. I think Cade Curlin stays a second. He has a relationship with Stephen Milam already, as we all know. I think he stays there. It will be interesting to see who is at second, who's at third. I think that's going to be between Parker Lowe and Cade Curlin. Don't sleep on John Pearson. Don't sleep on Parker Lowe. Don't sleep on Jack Ruckert. Telling you, like right now, if you had to ask me the starting lineup of LSU Baseball Tigers, it would be, 6 of the guys would be guys I've named. Milam, Park, Curlin, Waters, Wax, and Laya. We haven't got the rest position, so I'm not saying that yet. But just know that none of this is set in stone. There's nothing etched in marble. There's chalk on a chalkboard or a dry erase marker on a whiteboard. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's all subject to change, and it's going to be a fun season to watch it change. First base, Mason Braun, Dominic Santarelli, Dylan Minity. Now, I want to sit down and talk about this for a second. Everybody is just giving first base to Dominic Santarelli. Don't get me wrong. I'm a big fan of the Reacher. That's my nickname for him. I'm going to call him Dominic the Reacher Santarelli because he looks like that kid, Alan Richson from the show The Reacher. He's just a monster of a kid. And yes, he has a 70 grade power bat in the combine. He has every tool imaginable. He's rangy. He's athletic. He was an outfielder. He would be amazing at first base. Do not sleep on Mason Braun. Go listen to Jay Johnson's interviews when he talks about Mason Braun. And we're going to get into a bigger, broader section of this in a minute, but Mason Braun was a draft risk coming out of high school. Jay Johnson talks about that very openly and very strongly. Mason Braun was a draft risk, and he was a player he wanted to get to LSU just as badly as he wanted to get these kids that came out of the draft this year. Mason Braun led your team in on-base percentage and batting average in the SEC as a freshman. As a freshman. His work still speaks for itself. Do not sleep on him. Is Dominic Santarelli going to be on the field? Is he going to be at the plate? Yes. Yes. But don't sleep on my guy Braun, man. Don't sleep on him. Remember the core four we talked about last year? Who was the core four we talked about? Y'all remember? Ruckert, Patrick, Cerna, Braun. Don't sleep, man. Don't sleep. All right. Let's get back to this. See, that's what I didn't want to do. All right. Catchers, Cerna, Beatty, Yaman. Now, I think we all understand Omar Cerna, Kate Aaron Beatty are the top two catchers right now, bar none. I probably would have leaned putting Eddie Yaman in the first base category. And this isn't, me and Yaman have not talked about this. If we did, I probably wouldn't be saying this. This is my pure thought process. I would probably lean, yes, Yaman's going to be your third catcher, barring injury and performance. I would have probably leaned Yaman in the first base category more than catcher in this scenario. Look, Cerna, sophomore, one of the core four, had a great year last year, big power guy. Kate Aaron Beatty came on strong after the Tennessee series. We all know what that kid can possess. We all know what Jay Johnson feels about him. Jay Johnson told us that Kate Aaron Beatty is going to be the best player on this team by the time Kate Aaron Beatty leaves campus. I don't know about y'all, but by this point, I have before, and even more now, I trust Jay Johnson. That's all I got to say about that. All right. Now we got pitchers, right-handed pitchers. Casey Evans, Schmidt, Moore, Landon Hood, Reagan Rickens, Zion Theophilus, Diego Velasquez, Caden Smith, Colton Brady, Cooper Sides, Colby Stringer, Brady Wisner. That's all your right-handed pitchers. I'm going to give y'all a little heads up right now. Casey Evans is your Friday night guy. Right now, your 3 starters on the weekend, so I'm proven wrong, which I don't think I will be. Casey Evans, William Schmidt, Cooper Moore. The phone lines will be open here in a minute. You can tell me I'm wrong, but I'm going to correct you. Left-handed pitchers, Plug, Williams, Lackenmeyer, Osh. I think it's how you say his name. Sorry if it isn't, buddy. Naraki, Beatty, Cupid, Logan Schmidt to round it out. Now, let's get into the comments real quick before I get into an overarching topic I want to talk about. Coyote Operator, I plan to be at all of them as well. See you there. I can't wait to see you, buddy. It'll be good to see you again. Don't sleep on Dominic Santorelli he very athletic. I'm sorry, Robbie. Don't sleep on Nate Davis. I'm not. Nathaniel Davis is a dog, too. He's a dog. I would give – so Jason Armstrong will give the edge to Malachi Washington. To Nathaniel Davis. I give the edge. Can I speak tonight? Jason Armstrong of Inside LSU Baseball will give the edge to Nathaniel Davis. I personally give the edge to Malachi Washington. It's just personal preference. I'm not trying to put it down on one of the kids. I just lean more Malachi Washington. That's all it is. I think Zion going to make a big jump this year. I do too. This team could potentially be a better version of 2023 Florida State. You talking about the football team or the baseball team? I think you're talking about the football team. All right. There's one thing I want to say about LSU baseball. I want to get into everyone's head. I want to pound this in your head. Don't crown these kids too early. Don't put these kids on a pedestal too early. And what I mean by these kids, I mean the incoming freshmen. Do not make them kings before they are princes. Listen to me. I know how good they are. I know how excited we are to have them. I put it on X. Is this the best recruiting class ever? I think it is. I mean, before you even got Logan Schmidt, I thought it was. Getting guys like Cooper Sides, Dominic Santorelli, Braxton Beatty, Braden Cupid, Wisner, pulling in transfer guys like Velasquez, Hood, Caden Smith, like just on the pitching side alone. I get it. We're excited. Don't crown them before they're ready. All you're doing is putting more pressure on them they don't need. Here's the reality of LSU baseball fans. Here's the reality. Jay Johnson didn't make his job easier doing this. Here's the reality about LSU football fans who watch baseball. Jay Johnson really didn't make his job easier doing this. Getting this much talent to campus, he put his head in a vice. Because now they're going to expect bigger and bigger and bigger things. And granted, with this type of investment, monetary investment that's been given to LSU baseball, with this much talent being brought to campus, has he earned some expectation? 100%. He knows that. The players know that. Go listen to the Eddie Yaman interview. Go listen. I keep telling you, go listen to that Eddie Yaman interview I did with him a couple weeks back. He understands the pressure. And that's before they got Logan Schmidt. Logan Schmidt wasn't even thought about coming to campus at this time. The more pressure you put on these guys and the higher pedestal you put them on, it's just going to make it harder for them. And because they see everything. They see everything. Now, thankfully, a guy like Yaman in their interview, again, guys, I'm not just pumping my channel. I talk maybe 10% of the interview because Yaman's that good. Go listen to that interview. I'm telling you. He tells you everything. We talked about the social media. We talked about the criticism. He says, yeah, we see it, but we don't care. And I'm thankful they don't care. Because some people on social media are just wild, man. They're wild. Please. And all you're doing right now is the guys you pumped up last year, the guys y'all paraded, y'all lifted up on your shoulders and carried around. You're just telling them, oh, we don't need you anymore. We got this, kid that should be going to prom right now. Let the kids earn their stripes. Me and Eddie talked about that as well. I was going to put a clip out, but Eddie told me no. So I had to listen to Eddie. Coyote, thank you. They got to earn everything, but they got the stuff to do it. They just need to earn it. Exactly. Just earn it. Just earn it, man. Look, I could say this. I'll say this information. Me and Jared talked about this. So me and Coyote talked about this because you all know me and Coyote were very big on getting Jay Johnson, like wanting to get Jay Johnson the funding he needed to have the team he wanted, right? I'll put it like this. 4.5 to 5 times the money he spent last year was spent this year. The guys on his team that are guys are paid, right? The difference is now, this year, you have guys who got paid who are hungry. There's a big difference to coming to LSU and putting on the uniform and being a Tiger or coming to LSU to play like a Tiger. These guys know what they're coming to do. And now Jay's to a point where he doesn't care who you are, how much you got paid. You're not going to play like a Tiger, you're not playing. Not playing. And when you sit there, like, I get it. Logan Schmidt is Logan Schmidt. Trust me. I watch the videos. I see him pitching. It looks effortless, man. It looks so effortless. I get worried. And I'm like, does he care? Yes, I know he cares. It's just stupid worry because I'm like, it just looks so easy out of his hand. Y'all forgot about Lucas Naraki, number 1 pitcher out of Texas that nobody thought was coming to campus. Oh, we got Naraki. Oh, yeah, the number 2 pitcher out of Texas, left-hander, Braxton Beatty. Yeah, he's a dog. Don't overlook him either. Cooper Sides. Come on. Who did Braxton Beatty told you to look out for? Braden Cupid. Parker Lowe. Martinez. I'm excited too. But let's take a deep breath and realize that what Coyote said earlier is right. If you have any hole in your lineup ever, guess what? I know a guy. Come on. I know a guy. Whew. I am excited. Brian Turner, I'm a Christian on social media and off. I go out of my way to respect others the way Jesus would have wanted me to. Exactly. 100%. 100%. I am too, sir. I am too. Okay. This will be touchy. All right, here we go. There's the number. See if this works. What's going on? All right. That is the number, ladies and gentlemen. You can call in to the show. You can call into the show and we can have a talk. That is the phone number. Call in and you will be played live on air. I'll only ask. No vulgarity, please. Let's be respectful and don't do anything silly. Just don't do anything silly. That's all I ask. You're ready to call in? Call in. We have our first call. Wow. Let me see. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you just fine. How you doing?
I think I know who this is. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fine, bro. I'm in California right now. How you doing?
Oh, I'm not in California, so that's the weather's not as nice over here.
Yeah, man. Just gonna be visiting my niece for the weekend.
Oh, congratulations, buddy. What you want to talk about?
I just want to talk about the LSU opener, which, you know, I'm a baseball guy like you, but this LSU opener for me is pretty interesting because instead of me talking about it from the lens of an LSU fan like yourself, like I am too, let's look at this from how Clemson will probably look at it, right? You know, this is not your typical year one LSU football team, right? Not your typical year one football team, period, for a team that had a disappointing season, fired their coach, lost a bunch of players to the portal, hired a new coach, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, when I think about a team that's starting over and a team that's has a new coach and they're going to be playing in their home state in front of a bunch of Rabbit fans in a huge game, I think of maybe that 2022 LSU team, right? That, you know, Brian Kelly fielded.
Mm-hmm.
A team that had barely enough guys to field a team with so many scholarship holes. You only had 45 players to start the season, less than 30 players for the bowl game, something crazy like that, right? That's what I think about when I think first year team fresh off of a tumultuous, disappointing season, right? Instead, Clemson will be walking into Tiger Stadium against one of the hottest coaches in college football. There's a reason why LSU and a host of other suitors wanted Lane Kiffin. He was the hottest coaching name available. You're going against a roster that we thought last year's portal class was talented. This portal class isn't just more talented, it's more complete. So here's the thing. As I said before, I'm going to look at it from a Clemson perspective. You're going into this game against this LSU football team. The first thing I would think Clemson would want to prioritize, right, would be how do we slow down this LSU run game, right? And how do we run the ball on this talented but very still relatively unknown LSU defensive front? Because that's kind of been the key to Lane Kiffin football since the last couple of years, right? Run the ball and stop from the run. And then number two, how do we survive one of the most hostile environments? Because they came to our Death Valley last year, and they weren't really flushed. We're going to their Death Valley, and their environment might be a whole lot more hostile than ours. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
But go ahead. I hope I didn't talk too much.
No, you're good, buddy. Thank you for calling, Brian. I appreciate it, man.
Go ahead. Thank you, bro.
All right. That's a really good outlook from Brian right there. Again, if y'all want to, give a call. Numbers right there on the screen. So, if I'm following right, want to look at it from Clemson's point of view. And he kind of compared, if I'm not mistaken, Brian, let me know if I am, this Clemson team to like the 22 LSU Tiger team with Brian Kelly in his first year having, a kind of a ragtag roster. The only difference I would see with that is Clemson's going to be a different team this year because Dabo actually went to the portal. Now, we all know he got burned in the portal by one, but he got a couple players out of the portal, and he's kind of playing in that realm now. How do I want to? Yeah, I agree with Brian to a point. I just think the overwhelming attitude and mindset of the team and the LSU faithful in Baton Rouge is kind of dwarf them. Like, I wouldn't expect to see too much orange in Tiger Stadium that first game. There's going to be some. I don't expect it to be too much. I hope I got that right. The way I look at it is I'm not saying that LSU is going to walk in and just dog walk Clemson. I don't think that happens. I don't think they walk in, just dog walk them. I think it's a better game in the first half. The second half will prove to be like they always do. I get it. But because I think LSU is going to come out tight as well because they have a lot of expectations coming on for them as well. Jonesy in the chat. Who will be the top 3 teams in the SEC next year? It looks like the conference is loaded, and he is talking about baseball. Top 3 teams next year. Ooh. I'm going to put LSU. I usually don't, but LSU is just too loaded with talent, man. Way too loaded with talent. Mississippi State did really good as well in recruiting and through the draft. And they got some good transfers coming to Mississippi State, so I'd probably tie them in to that conversation. Who would be my 3rd team? Part of me wants to say Oklahoma, but they lost a lot in the draft. Like that catcher they got, man. That catcher somebody got a steal with that kid at catcher, man. Someone got a steal for him in the draft. Number three. It's hard. That's hard. I'm sorry. I'm really trying to give you a good answer for this. I really am. I'd probably lean Texas A&M. So I'm going to go LSU, Mississippi State. No particular order. LSU, Mississippi State, Texas A&M to lead the conference next year in baseball. Robbie. One thing is a Clemson quarterback never played in a stadium like the real Death Valley in the crowd, so they just have to adjust. Yeah, like if we go in there and make Tiger Stadium Death Valley or Death Valley, we haven't seen that stadium like that in a long time. Maybe the 22 Bama game. Maybe a 22 Bama game. Oh, yeah, no, exactly. This is not your typical first-year team. No. I may have just misunderstood your point, man. I apologize. No, this is not your typical first-year team. Do you have this type of team if you didn't have the transfer portal? No, but we play in the world of transfer portal. It gives a guy like Lane Kiffin the opportunity to have this type of rebuild and kind of growth into the season the way he has. Going to stay on a couple more minutes. If you want to, the phone number on the screen, 225-401-3721. Call in and ask your question or tell me I'm wrong. I'm open to debate. I can be told I'm wrong. I'm fine with that. I don't mind being wrong. When I'm wrong, I can be proven. I can be given the information to be right. And then we're all good. Also, like I said, if you haven't already, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you're watching on X, please repost and follow the Walk It Off Talk X page. And I truly, truly, truly appreciate it. Robbie, Vandy going to be young, but not much experience. Vandy's always good, man. They're always good. Like, I can't stand Vandy, but I like their uniforms, those green, kind of like Army-styled uniforms. I like them a lot. With the American flag, they're gangster. But Vandy's always good. They're always going to be good. They have a great coach over there in Tim Corbin. I get him and Dave Van Horn mistaken, but at least I think Corbin's won a national championship, or at least his guys can catch foul balls. Yeah, my right now, just off the top of my head, I'm going LSU, Mississippi State, and A&M. State did a really good job, and that coach they have over there is unfortunately really good. Mississippi State doesn't have the problem LSU has with rev share money because they're not going to invest in anything but baseball. They chose to we'll give football what it needs to get by, but we're going to give some money over there to baseball. That's a program we're going to be competitive in. Couple more minutes, guys. If you want to call in, 225-401-3721. Thursday, we're going to have a better setup. It's going to be through the computer tonight. I told you I was going to do it. I wanted to keep my word, so I did. But I'm going to have to change streaming services to get this done, so I got to migrate everything over so we don't have a hiccup in quality. If no one calls in, we'll do this. This phone line's still open. Just give it a call, but we're going to get into our Bible verse for the evening. And again, like I always do, this one comes from a phone app. I don't research this because I want it to be a genuine thought of the Bible verse. Comes from Acts chapter 1, verse 7. He said to them, "It isn't for you to know times or seasons which the Father has set within his own authority." It's weird. Every time I do these, they always have such a prophetic meaning to my life at the moment. Again, what it says, it isn't for you to know times or seasons which the Father has set within his own authority. We had a conversation about this a couple weeks ago about giving your life to Christ and turning and facing him and allowing his plan for you to go into fruition. In doing that, you may wonder why you're going through a season or going through any part of your life, why you're going through that at that time. Like right now, I'm in one of those seasons. I'm in one of those seasons with my family. It's hard on all of us, but we all feel like we're doing the right thing for us in the future. And we're putting our faith in God to know that we're on the right path. Could have been very easy for me to stay where I was. It could have been very easy to stay where I was and just, go through the motions and, not challenge myself or, remain unhappy in certain ways. But my wife and I, nothing's wrong between my wife and I. We're very happy and very in love. And my children, thank goodness, are fine. It's outside of that. My wife and I had a discussion and we decided that the next step for us was this. And it's hard on all of us. But we're hoping that God has put it on, God put it on our hearts. He kind of, there were a lot of signs that pointed to this, and hopefully I read the signs right. But this will lead to, greater things for us and our family in the future. So that's where, that Bible verse is really prophetic to me because, every day I wake up right now, I'm wondering, did I make the right choice? Because it's hard. If anyone, some of you really, really know me very well, and I haven't really talked to anybody, especially in the chat, about what's going on right now, because I just don't, open that up to anybody unless I really, really know you. But it's difficult. But hopefully, we're doing the right thing. I'm just gonna put my faith in God that I am. Put my faith in God that I am. All right, another minute or so. Phone number 225-401-3721. That will be the number from here on out for the show, unless people get crazy, then we'll change the number. But that's going to be the number for the post games. That's the reason I got this, so we can do post game call-in shows, because I don't feel like anybody does call-in shows anymore. There are a couple that do from time to time, but our post game is going to be legitimately just a fanfare vent or celebrate together. That's what that's going to be. We're going to have post games. We're going to talk about what happened in the game a little bit, not a whole lot. We're going to talk to one another. We're going to have this be a real community show for everybody after games to kind of get together and have fun about the game. That's what I want it to be. So if nobody else is going to call, we may have to call tonight. We may have to call tonight if no one else is going to call. Just checking and make sure, because this is the first time I've used this number and this app for that. So making sure it works. And all right. So that's going to do it for this evening. Again, I know I say it all the time. I'm sorry. But if I had more, I wouldn't say it as much. If you can, please, I beg you, hit the like button. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. On X, if you're watching on X, please repost the stream and like the stream and follow the @WalkItOffTalk X page. We also have an Instagram and a TikTok. They're both at @WalkItOffTalk. Please go follow those pages. I'm gonna start posting clips more and more now. It's just I need to get scheduled together. I'm tired of moving places. Hopefully here in the next week or so, I don't have to move where I'm sleeping at for a while. But you can like those pages, share the posts, follow them all. I really, really, really appreciate that. Also, I'm still looking for feedback. Oh, let me get this straight. Let me clarify this. It's not a bad thing. It's just a part of what's going on. I'll text you, Coyote. Part of what's going on kind of sucks because, a lot of people say I'm, an a-hole or a jerk. Like people may tell you that. I'm a softie. I'm a teddy bear. And yeah. Anyways, Already on the phone, huh? He's calling the other shows. That's what he's doing. That's what he's doing. All right. But anyways, yeah. I'm still looking for your feedback on Pick to Click, how you want to do it. We're running out of time. Either y'all can tell me how y'all want to do Pick to Click, or I can pick how we do Pick to Click. I'm pretty sure y'all would rather have some influence on that decision. And that's going to be it. Remember, God loves you. All he wants you to do is love him back. That's all he wants. And I'm going to ask you to do this for not me, but for yourself and for Christ. I've been kicking this idea around, and I want to make sure I could explain it in the correct way. Be the fifth gospel. What do I mean by go be the fifth gospel? Live your life in a way that if someone came behind you and wrote your life out as a gospel for Jesus Christ, you wouldn't be ashamed for it to be in the pages of the Bible. Go live your life as a fifth gospel. Do what's best. I promise you, you'll be happier. Go be the fifth gospel. God loves you. All he wants you to do is love him back. I'll see y'all on Thursday. Have a great Wednesday. Have a great rest of your evening. God loves you. I love you. I'll see y'all on Thursday.